Hi everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. This is Daisy right here. If this is your first time coming across my channel, you are beautifully welcome. And to all my oldies, thank you so much for coming back. Okay, so in today's video, like the title of the video says, a Nigerian's asylum application has been granted. So before I move on into the main discussion of the day, I would like to say that I have made a couple of videos about how to apply for asylum. The easiest way to go about it is right there on my channel. I think I made 2 videos about it. And then yeah, so in today's video I'm going to be talking about 1 or 2 points here and there when it comes to asylum interviews and all of that stuff. So this particular Nigerian shared his story with me. I think he came on my Instagram. I asked him 1 or 2 questions here and there about his asylum, and I got to know that his asylum has just been granted. So yep, why I'm making this video is because I've actually heard 1 or 2 Nigerian here and there has gotten approved, yeah, but I have actually not seen with my eyes. I only heard with my ears. So but for the first time I have seen with my eyes. I know someone who has gotten it. So that's why I'm able to say, okay, let me share the story, because I don't share what I don't know. I don't say what I don't know. I have not seen, I have not experienced by myself. I only talk about things I personally have experienced. Okay, so that's why I'm here today. Even though I've heard about it before, 1 or 2 Nigerians got it here and there, I didn't run with the story because I have not seen. But now that I have seen, I'm here to share the story, and I am here to also give 1 or 2 points in addition for you to learn. So this Nigerian got his asylum approved, and he asked me 1 or 2 questions here and there. For example, can he go back home now that he has gotten his PR, or can he take permission to go home, things like that. We are going to be talking about all of that, but let me talk about something else before I get into that. Now, he said to me that 4 years after his application, he was called for an interview. Okay, 4 years. Yeah, for example, you apply, you wait for them to get back to you to invite you for an interview. Okay, so he waited 4 years. But I would like to say here now that these days, okay, you need to learn, this is a new development. These days it's not up to 4 years anymore. People don't wait as much as 4 years anymore to be called for an interview. The highest you can be called now is 2 years. Okay, but in his time when he applied, it's very recent. He got he's approved recently, but he waited for 4 years. But I'm telling you now, these days it's just for 2 years. You wait for 2 years, then you be called for an interview, and then subsequently you know the result of your interview. Now in his case, like I said, he waited 4 years, and then after 4 years he was called for an interview. He went for an interview. Now it is important for you to know that I am using his story to teach you something more from the things that I have said in my previous videos. Okay, so now it is very important for you to know now, in this day and time, that interviews are conducted online now. Before, it didn't used to be online. It was after the COVID they started doing it online, and then it stopped. Even most of their judicial or legal situations are held online now. Like if you have a case in court, some of them are held online. Not every court case is held in person. A lot of them now are being held online. For example, child support. A lot of these child support cases, for example, don't go to court anymore physically. They do it online. I'm just using that as an example for you. So the same thing with the asylum thing. They hold it now online. Since the COVID-19 thing, it's stuck. Online is where the interview takes place. It's important for you to know. And it's also important for you to know that should in case you do not speak the language properly, it is okay to take somebody with you on that interview day to sit with you that speaks Portuguese. As the person speaks, interprets to you, you give the answer back, the person gives back to the judges. Okay, now it is important for you to know that it is not a scary situation to attend an asylum application interview. It is not a scary thing. They are not there to scare you. They are there to hear your story. As long as you had a story, you should be able to repeat the same story that you talked about in the beginning. It is important for you not to forget what you said in the beginning. This is the most important thing you should hold on to. So whenever you are applying for your asylum, the same story you put there then is the same story you would tell. No adding to it, no removing from it. So that is why whenever you are, either you apply through different charity organizations, for example, Caritas, there are so many of them, ADUS, there are so many other organizations too that can help you put in your application, or if you do it by yourself, either way, it is important for you to take that story, copy it, and save it to yourself. Take a copy of it. Whether you typed it on the system, copy it, paste it somewhere, save it. When they call you for an interview, go back to it, read it again so you remember exactly what you said. If your story goes contrary to what you wrote before, or you removed or add to it, it jeopardizes the possibility of you being granted or approved. Okay, so telling your story the same way is the number one, is the key thing you should make sure is intact. All right, never change anything about your story, never add to it, never remove from it. Same story exactly. To save your story, copy it, paste it somewhere else, and save it. When you're called for an interview, go back to it, read it all over again, exactly the words, exactly everything you said, take it back. I don't even see why, if your story is true, I know you will always remember it anyway the same way, you don't need to copy and paste, but even if your story is real, always make sure to have a copy of what you said so that you don't go and start adding more to it, even if your story is real life, so that you don't add more and more things and then it gets complicated for the judges to see through your story, and then you get denied. So it is important to stick to the same story. Now, like I said, it is okay. Don't be scared. If you cannot speak the language, take an interpreter with you. If you don't have somebody, hire anybody. If you have a friend, take your friend along. If you don't have a friend, you have somebody you can pay to do that for you in that day. On that day, pay the person and take the person along with you to appear with you on the camera, see the judges, and then you're able to communicate. Now, it is important for you to know that they will be asking you questions. They will definitely ask you questions, and you must be able to you reply in the same context of that story. Don't go extra mile. Don't overtalk things that are not necessary, so as not to jeopardize everything in your story. So anyway, this particular Nigerian got his approved, and then he was I think what he said, after he was done with his interview, he was sent a form to fill, and subsequently he was able to go. He went to the Policia Federal to to give his document. He booked an appointment, gave her all his documents, and took it to the Policia Federal, and then they processed it just the same way they will process you if you have a baby. The same way you will process that, all your documentations through your baby is the same way. Take your documents to the Policia Federal, they do the necessary things, document you, and then subsequently your ID card is ready and they give to you. So he was granted a 9 years permanent residency in Brazil, renewable every time it expires, after 10 years or after 9 years. Some they give them 10 years, some they give them 9 years. All right, in all situations, whether marriage, whether childbirth, whether asylum, it's usually either 9 years or 10 years. Okay, so it's renewable, but you can get your citizenship even before 10 years expires. Okay, that's the beautiful thing. So can you be a citizen after you've gained your permanent residency through asylum? Yes, you can actually be a citizen, but one thing you should know is that your citizenship legibility, okay, begins from after you get your permanent residency. All the years you have spent staying in Brazil does not count. Okay, unlike now, for example, I have a baby. As soon as I have a baby, 1 year after that period, I'm eligible. I'm eligible to apply for citizenship. Okay, now in the case of asylum, you have stayed here, yes, even if you don't have a baby, but you stay here 4 years after you have your PR, permanent residency, you are eligible for citizenship. Okay, now in the case of an asylum seeker, even though you have stayed here for years, it doesn't count. Your eligibility starts counting when you are issued that permanent residency, 9 years or 10 years permanent residency. Okay, it doesn't count from the years you have stayed waiting for your asylum decision. It doesn't count. Okay, but remember, with your asylum ID card and everything, you can do everything like any citizen, like any permanent residency holder. You can do everything, but for citizenship's sake, all the years you spent here does not count. Okay, Now fast forward, he got that, and then the questions that now moving to the questions, he asked me like, oh, now that I've got my permanent residency, can I go back, can I travel to Nigeria? Now can I travel to Nigeria, or can I take permission from the asylum board to go to Nigeria? Now the thing is, for you to be able to go back to your country, you should understand that you have told those people that something was chasing you from your country. You are not able to go to your country because you're scared of one thing: political problems, economical problems, whatever, religious problems, whatever problem it is, but it's in that same country, right? Now, if you go back to them to take permission, I want to travel to this same country, I said I have problems. Now there's war, there's this, there's one or two things here and there chasing you, Boko Haram, for example. And that's why you cannot live in that country. You're scared to go back to that country. Please permit me to stay in your country. And now that you have gotten the PR, you're telling them now that you want to go back to the same country that you were so afraid to go to. So that's the thing. On a normal, if you get the residency of a country where you claimed asylum, you should not be able to go back to that country. That is how it's supposed to be. You shouldn't be able to go back to that country. But however, people still go. I think I have seen one or two here and there that goes. But in a normal, the case is, this is the way it's supposed to be. If they find out that you go there, back to the same country you're so scared of, your permanent residency or citizenship could be revoked. Okay, that's how it's supposed to be on a normal. But maybe these days and times, I don't know, some people still go back to that same country and they are still fine. So you need to really find out, so as not to jeopardize your efforts and the effort of the people that granted you that stay in the country, so as not to have everything wasted and destroyed. Make sure you find out if you can return back to the same country where you claimed you had a problem. Okay, so I've seen people from other countries too that gained, permanent residency and then subsequently citizenship. They return back to their home country somehow. But on a normal day, the real thing is that you should not go back. You should not be able to go back to that country, and you could have your citizenship and then permanent residency revoked because you returned back to that country. You claim you had a problem, and after they granted you a stay in their country, now you're going back there. It's a crime. It's a crime. But like I said, people go. People still go, but I don't know what's the situation for consequences for them now. But you just have to be careful. If you must go to your country, you might want to find other ways to go, so as not to cause problem for yourself. And again, he asked me, can I take permission from them? If you go and take permission from them, you are practically carrying yourself to them to say, I am done with this permanent residency you gave me, take it away, cancel me. Because you are giving yourself to them, because then they will look at you. You're taking permission from us to go to a country you claim you have problems. There's war, there's this, there's that, and then you're going back to that same body that used that story to grant you a stay in their country, to now tell you, okay, you can go. They can't tell you to go there because they saved you from that country. So they can't tell you not to now go back into problems that you claim exist there. So it's a recipe for them to cancel your the asylum grant. So you have to be careful. You can't take permission from them. If you must travel to your country, go on your own. Find ways to go if you want to go. Okay, not going to them and telling them, can I take permission to go here? You're practically giving them a reason to look into your case and then cancel everything. So that is it. Like I said, on a normal, you shouldn't be able to go back to your country. But do people still go? I think people still go. I don't know, but you have to be careful so as not to destroy things. Okay, so like I said, yes, you can get citizenship as an asylum seeker, and as a person who has been granted asylum, that will be now I think 4 years thereabout. 4 years after you have been granted citizenship, permanent residency as an asylum seeker. 4 years after, you can now put in for your citizenship. Okay, remember that people who go in 1 year to apply for that citizenship are people with babies, children, and also people who got married. Okay, I think any other way, like say you get PR, you have to stay in that country for 4 good years. Okay, so this is it for me. I think this is all right now for me. My battery is low. I don't know if it's going to be clear at this point. Anyway, this is it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Let me see, because my battery is so low. Okay, now I put it on. So that is it from me today. If you have questions for me, put it down in the comment section below. I will be more than happy to respond to you. If you want to know more about Asylum and all of that stuff, I have made videos, 2 separate videos, how you can do it very easily in Brazil without any stress. Go check those videos out. And also, this is a video that also stresses on other points that you should learn about. Yes, before I go, another thing that the guy told me, that the judges, I'll call them the judges, the asylum people that was attending to him, that he said most of the time when Nigerians put in for their asylum, and when it's time for them to call them for interviews, most of their communication means are always, not working. Either their emails are not going through, or the phone numbers they put down to call them or to text them for interviews, it's not working. So he said the judges told him during the interview that this is what happens in the cases of most Nigerians. Okay, so so if you're a Nigerian, I know this is also applicable to other countries, but because he is a Nigerian, he's talking to him as a Nigerian. Now, so if you're watching this video, whether you're a Nigerian or not a Nigerian, wherever country you're from, whenever you're putting in for an asylum, make sure all your communication contacts are working. Make sure that they're intact. What happens in most of these cases is that most of them, when they get here, they follow the back door, they go to America, they leave Brazil, and all the phone numbers they put there is not working. Or some of them, even, they probably have babies, or they get married, and then maybe they don't care about the asylum anymore. They change their numbers, and they don't care to go back to change their information, because now they don't need the asylum anymore. Now they change from asylum seekers to citizenship, to permanent residency through their baby or through marriage. And then even if they change any means of communication in their lives, they don't go back to change anymore, because now they have permanent residency through their baby or through their marriages. So these are the circumstances in which things like that might happen, that they might not be able to, the asylum board might not be able to get through to these Nigerians or any other person from any other country, based on the fact that maybe they've gotten the PR through other means, baby, marriage, or a lot of them have practically followed the back door to go to America, or to America, whether Nigerians or anybody from anywhere, different countries. That's the same thing. This is what can actually happen. But if you're this one that is still in Brazil, you're still seeking the asylum, you have not changed your status through a baby or marriage, or you have not left to go to America through the back door, you are still here and your asylum is still there, you're still waiting for a decision, make sure your contacts are working, emails, phone number, because he said that the judges told him this, that a lot of their contacts don't work anymore when they try to contact them. When they try to contact these Nigerians, please make sure all your contacts are working, so that you don't miss your opportunity to get an interview date, because it might be difficult again to get back to you, again to find time to come to you and say your interview is set. It might be difficult. Brazil is like that. Once you miss that first step, it might take a long time to get back to you again. So keep your communications open so you do not miss out on anything. Thank you so much again. If you have questions for me, put it down in the comment section below. I hope I've been able to answer 1 or 2 of your questions ringing in your head. Thank you again. Have an amazing day, everybody. Bye.